Hello and welcome to The Silent Why. I'm Claire.
And I'm Chris, and this is Christmas Day 2023.
If you're listening live.
If you're listening live, increase the jingly sound effects now.
And this week we're putting out an episode every single day between Christmas Day and New Year's Eve because we wanted to just be a sort of, like a comforting presence in the festive season when it can be, difficult for some people.
Let's be honest, all the Christmas greetings, the cards, the sayings include the words happy or merry, but for some people, maybe that's a wrong assumption. Maybe it's not a happy Christmas or a Merry Christmas for them. So we're here to help.
And over the last couple of years, we've had a lot of guests, obviously, talking about loss and grief. And they've all had times when they've felt that Christmas especially has been quite tricky for them. So we thought it'd be really nice to include them in a special episode, asking them what do they find hard about Christmas, but also what's brought them comfort, because we're all about finding that extra bit of hope. And you might recognise some of these voices from past guests, but there's also a couple of future ones in there too.
So what if you're feeling this Christmas, or even right now, you're not alone? And that's one of the key messages of the Silent Why podcast that we love to share, that you're not alone. And one of these voices, no doubt, you're about to hear will have something to say that will speak into your situation. So over to them.
I find Christmas hard. So I want to like it. I really do. But I don't. I just find it a really difficult time of the year. And there's not one specific reason behind finding it hard. There's a lot of things that have built up over time. But I guess historically it stems from finding a lump in my neck on Christmas Day morning back in 1997. And that lump turned out to be Hodgkin's lymphoma, so not the kind of surprise you want to be finding on Christmas Day morning. And that cancer diagnosis has changed my life forever. And in many ways for the better, but Christmas will always be the day cancer first came into my life. Conversely, the thing that gets me through Christmas is the grounding and the sense of perspective that cancer is adept at instilling, that despite twice having had cancer, I'm still around. I've experienced the excitement Christmas once held for my now nearly 14-year-old daughter, and still very much holds for my 6-year-old son. And I suppose that's what gets me through it. Wanting to have those experiences, wanting to share and enjoy it with my children, to see them safe and well, smiling and happy, because ultimately there will be dads whose cancer will have robbed them of that experience. And that's what gets me through it.
I find Christmas hard because everyone else is talking about spending time with their families, and it makes me miss my husband all the more because he was my family. So with him gone, the lack of other people is very obvious. So I really miss him and being able to share with him how much both of us disliked Christmas, even when he was alive. I take comfort from the fact that him not being here liberates me from having to do anything that I don't want to do. It gives me permission to say, I'm going to go away, I'm going to ignore Christmas altogether, and nobody questions that because I can say it's because I miss him, which it is. So there's a liberation in being able to say no to all the things that I don't want to do.
I often find Christmas difficult because it's like the veil between past and present almost becomes thinner. Memories are much closer to the surface. Sadness comes much easier. And the simple fact is that I miss my brother. I miss who he was, who he could have been, and I miss talking to him. But I take comfort in those memories. I remember him as he was, and I embrace all of Christmas. I choose the good memories and the happy times. I choose joy. And actually, I still talk to him. And I know he would be proud of my achievements. And I kind of know what he'd say back to me most of the time anyway.
More and more, I find Christmas hard because eventually the season ends and the decorations must be put away. The one thing I take comfort in is that More and more, I am learning to cherish the memories while I am living them, because I realize the season won't last forever, and that's the deal.
I find Christmas tough because I'm on my own and my children live abroad and I can go to friends, but it isn't the same as having your own family around you. So I often, and this year I'm doing the same, I go on retreat and I find that really soothing for my soul. The one thing that I enjoy doing at Christmas, because I am on my own, is to light a candle for everyone else who is also on their own, or who might be feeling lonely or abandoned, or is having a really difficult time in a family situation. So I just really enjoy holding that space for everyone to have a little bit of peace in their hearts, however difficult things might be.
I find Christmas hard because last year my mom passed away at the age of 92, and my first Christmas without her was very hard. I love Christmas movies, the Hallmark Christmas movies, and I couldn't even watch those Christmas movies. I couldn't put up a Christmas tree because she wasn't here to do it with me and to watch the Christmas movies with me. And it was very, very difficult. I didn't do the Christmas things that I always used to do with my mom. But yeah, God pulled us through. And this is now another Christmas without her. It's not as painful as it was last year, but it is still painful. What I find comforting though is that there's a special Christmas pudding that she used to make, and I've made that last year and I'm making it again this year. She made the pudding, she made a special kind of a ginger cool drink, and every time I do those, it's like she's still with me and telling me, put a little bit of this in, put a little bit of that in. It's very comforting and I get excited because I still have that piece of her with me.
I think the thing I find hardest about Christmas is it's the one day of the year where everybody reverts to their biological family. Everybody goes home for Christmas. They go back to their biological tribe. And so what happens if you don't have like an immediate biological tribe to go back to, or indeed to enjoy Christmas morning with? I think that's the thing that I'm a little bit concerned about in the future as to whether that's going to be more and more of an issue for us as we get older. What's really helped has been planning ahead. It's making sure that you have somebody to go to Christmas dinner with, or have Christmas lunch with, or have somebody over to your place, or do something on Boxing Day with. It's actually having some plans where you're going to be with somebody over the Christmas period. Actually, I've never felt really lonely at Christmas time. And Merrin and I have now walked the childless road now for 20 odd years, because we've been able to always have some time together with other people, or indeed if we've wanted a Christmas by ourselves, we've enjoyed that too. So planning ahead can really help. Make sure that you're with somebody or you're inviting somebody around.
I suppose what I find hard at Christmas is that it's both my mum's birthday in the lead up to Christmas, and it was also one of her favourite times of year to be with family, and particularly the music. She loved listening to all of the Christmas music at Christmas time. But it is what we can continue to enjoy and to value, is the lovely carols that are sung at this time of year, and also the traditions that she instilled in us that we continue in her absence, but also remembering her in them.
The Christmas season is really hard for me because it's a reminder of all that I've lost. The joy, the happy families, the celebrations, it's just not the same once you're grieving. My favorite way to cope with the holiday season is to skip it. I have really taken the liberty of skipping things that don't feel good to me without apology. I have to take care of myself in this fragile time.
I find Christmas hard because our son was born on January 4th and died on January 5th, the next day. And in our faith tradition, we celebrate the 12 days of Christmas. And for years, my family would sing the song of the 12 days of Christmas beginning on Christmas Day, one new verse every day, all the way until January 6th. But after John Paul died, it felt terrifying because every day we were getting one more day closer to the 11th day of Christmas when he wouldn't be here anymore. One thing I take comfort from at Christmas is that as a woman of faith, the Holy Family was a mess. So at Christmas, I know that I can be in grief and find the beauty and know that I am not alone in the middle of the mess that I'm in. And it doesn't have to be perfect or shiny, but it can be beautiful and hard and scary and sad and joyful all at the same time. It helps me to give myself permission to just be however we need to be at Christmas.
Christmas reminds me of past times. They may have been fun, but they may have been sad too. Yet Christmas is a story of hope in hard and cold times. In my situation and devastation, I've had to move from a position of certainty to a position of uncertainty. I have found faith has to be restored, and this means hope is reignited.
I find Christmas hard because so often the real meaning of Christmas is obscured by the razzmatazz of other things, which are lovely, but should also include the true meaning. The one thing I take comfort from is that the true meaning of God's love for us doesn't change whether we remember it or not.
I find Christmas hard because, as a child, Christmas felt like the entire month of December, and our family had a collection of cherished traditions and festivities that made it special, which I still miss to this day because most of them I will never be able to replicate without my own family in the same way. The one thing that brings me comfort at Christmas is just remembering that this holiday is actually supposed to be a reminder of hope and reconciliation. It's just as much about the future as it is about the past. And what reminds me the most about that is some traditional Christmas carols, like the ones that sing, "A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn," or "The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight." And they remind me that there is hope for tomorrow.
I find Christmas hard because I haven't been able to have children. And I always see this time of year as for little ones to enjoy, and that it's all about giving and being there to cheer them up and make this time special for them. The one thing that has helped me and given me comfort during this time is to get in touch with the little me inside and to allow her to play and explore and have fun and to lighten up and to give some of what I give so generously to other people to myself as well, and not see this as a selfish act, but to see this as an extremely necessary, nourishing part of well-being and getting into the Christmas spirit. It's the best gift that I can give myself, is to ramp up my own self-care, my own play, and my own little parts of adventure. I am sending everybody well wishes and blessings and love during this Christmas period.